Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about this fascinating topic of money. Now, a lot of my students and a lot of you all, a lot of young people are already working and they've started earning their money and they've just started off their career. So, they have their regular paychecks coming, and since they have money coming, they end up doing a lot of things which they shouldn't be doing. And so, here am I to tell you the top three things which you should not be doing if you're a young professional or just started off your career in order to save money for your future. And one topmost thing is not to go for a house. I know there's this huge temptation to buy a house because traditionally Indians, we feel very comfortable and secure going for a house because that's what we've been taught, that a house is your biggest investment, your biggest security. But never think of it at least in your 20s and 30s, because this should be put forth later in your life, say maybe in your 40 and 50. First, because the amount of investment for a house is really huge. Second, you do not know where you're going to settle because you just started off your career. So you could be moving, you could be switching jobs from one locality to another in the city, or you could be moving out of the city, maybe going to another country. So if you have this house of yours, it turns out to be a liability because you cannot dispose it off immediately. And even if you want to give it on rent, say you buy a house and you spend 50 lakhs on it, and what is the rent that you're going to fetch? Maybe you're going to get around 15,000 or 20,000, and that's not really worth the return. And it could be better that you save it on something better. And it's very important to have your cash in liquid form so that you're not tied down. Another thing is the EMIs are pretty huge, and so even if you want to change your career, you are pressurized to continue in a job which you're not very happy because you have this huge debt. So it's very important that you don't buy a house very early on in your career. The second thing which I would suggest not to do is, even though it's very tempting, is to go for a vehicle. I know how fascinating it is to go for a car or something like that. But when you are working in a city, the public transport is really good. You also have Uber, you have Ola, and so many other means, where you can go from one place to another. And when you buy a car, what happens is there's a huge depreciation. Actually, the moment you take your car out of your showroom, there's a lot of depreciation. And every year, the car loses value. And there's a lot of money that goes into the maintenance, the road tax, and things like that. And with the latest technology, we're all looking forward to those good electric cars coming out. So, all this could end up in a liability. And so it's better that you don't right away go into that. And later on, when you think of going for a car, this is my view. And of course, it's, everyone has their own. I believe that the pleasure of driving is no longer there in the cities. So the smaller the car, the better, because you can actually easily maneuver. I have an Alto, and I actually see that when I drive my Alto or my Zen, it actually navigates much more faster than the big cars. And I can parking is not a big issue. And sometimes even if there is by mistake a little bit of a dent here and there, you're not really bothered because you've not really invested so much. And go for a second hand if you really want to go for a good one. And if you're very particular that you want a absolutely brand new car, then I think you should drive it as long as you can, because it's good for the environment and it's really good for your pocket. And the last thing that I want to leave you with is marriage. I know this is a touchy topic, and you know how we Indians are. Especially our parents. The big fat Indian wedding that we see all around. But I think your parents' money or your money should not be going into calling people whom you don't like, feeding people whom you don't even know. And in today's age, you don't even know if the marriage is going to last. So have this money of yours put for something better. Of course, spend if you really want to, but you could actually go for a simple or a low-key affair. And this money could actually be put for a business that you want to start off, or you can use it for your higher studies. I'm talking about all the three ways. Wherever you save your money, it could go for all this, or it could go for your early retirement. I mean, everyone, most of the people don't want to continue working for a very long time, so you could spend it on that, or so many other things that you really want to. So your money is very precious. Another thing is, even if your parents are spending, I think many of the parents, they go into debt, so it's better to avoid all that. And old age is very expensive, so they need money to maintain a certain lifestyle. Health issues are there, so I think you should have enough of fund of yours, and they should have their funds so that they maintain the lifestyle that they are used to, and not spend on something which is just going to be for a day or two. So I leave you with these three things, and it's nothing hard and fast, but I believe that if you can follow any one of or two or three of these, you will end up having a lot of cash with you, which you could use it for your future in a way which you would find it productive. So here, signing off till we meet again.